Hey guys, welcome back to JD Mods. In today's video I'm going to be installing my new turbo on the turbo couch, better known as the Aristo, but that's its nickname if you didn't know. So today we are going to be replacing the eBay turbo. This is a eBay GT35R. It's a 3582 with a single ball bearing on the compressor side. It's a little small for my goals, so what I did was bought a Precision 6266 CEA. It has a billet compressor wheel, 0.81 AR turbine housing, and just your standard 4-inch intake, 2.5-inch outlet compressor. And I got this turbo from Velocity Racing Performance, and just a quick shout out to him. It's a newer company, but I was able to find this turbo. I'm in Canada, but he probably ships to the States as well. And I found this turbo for cheaper, brand new, than anywhere else, even big retailers and stuff like that. And if you are in Canada, there's no import fees, which is a bonus. So just a quick shout out to him. I'll put his links of Facebook and stuff down below. But anyway, let's get started on the install. I'm really excited to see how this looks. First, let's start with a montage of disassembling the old turbo. So I just took off the outlet to my intercooler piping, my downpipe, I took off the air intake and my oil feed line. So now I'm going to go ahead and take off the oil drain line and then take off the turbo 4 bolts. And to do that I might have to take off the compressor housing or at least rotate it. So let's see what has to happen. So just a quick update, I'm about 20 minutes in and I can't reach the 2 turbo bolts that bolted to my manifold on the inside of the turbo near the motor. So I just undid all the 13mm bolts, or 1/2 inch. And now what I can do is just carefully take off the compressor housing, just like that. Now as you can see, I have a little bit more space to get at the inside bolts. So there's the turbo completely removed. You can see the manifold in the downpipe as well as the oil line right there. Let me go show you guys the comparison between the old and the new turbo. So obviously you can tell which one's which. On the right here we have the old eBay turbo. It's a perfectly working turbo, but aesthetically it has the polished look that I find gets really fingerprinty and crappy. As you can see in the sun, there's lots of imperfections. It goes kind of a whitey color. And of course it has the non-billet wheel. I believe it's either cast or just regular extrusion or something. Now over here we have the new Precision turbo. It has a nice wrinkle silver finish. Has a billet wheel. Spins amazing. Obviously zero shaft play since it's brand new. I'm going to be running a new oil feed line, as this is a journal bearing that does not need a restrictor. I just have a NPT to 4AN adapter right there. I'm going to make up a new oil drain line, as my old one didn't fit quite right. Used to be running this plate. I used to run that style plate, but that's just one more thing that could leak. And even though they're both very similar size turbos, the Precision one is slightly larger housing, so it looks very awesome on my car. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and clock it, then I'll show you guys the installation. Quickly before installing, I think this is something really cool to show you guys, because you can never see this on an installed turbo. But here's my eBay turbo. This is the T4 inlet, of course, for the compressor housing. And you can see that it's just, I'll show you with the light a little better maybe. It's just perfectly square going inside the turbo. And then it spools up the wheel. Now check out over here on the precision turbo. Right there, you can kind of see it. It slopes into the inside, probably to help it spool up really fast. There's a ridge right here where I can put my finger, and on the other side as well. Probably the little differences like that will make me love driving with this turbo. There's the back half of the precision turbo mounted on. I've got the turbine bolted to the exhaust downpipe and the manifold. Obviously every single bolt is torqued down. Now let's go ahead and mount the compressor. Time for one quick update. You can see I have bolted on the turbo right over here. I did the drain line. This is fully clocked, all ready to go. And then what I've done is made the return line. This is my new braided stainless steel return line with a 10AN45 and a straight going to my oil pan. I also bolted it to the flange off the car because it is impossible to get a wrench in there once it's on the car. Now I'm going to go do a new paper gasket and bolt my drain line in just like that, and then connect up the intake and charge piping, and the project will be done. So guys, there's the turbo fully installed. I thought I would give you guys one more look before I put my intake and filter back on. Get one more look at that really pretty billet wheel, anti-surge housing, and I just cleaned up the wrinkle finish compressor just because my fingerprints got all over it. So it is all installed. Now whenever you install a new turbo like this, it's important to pull out your EFI fuse and crank the engine oil for about 30 seconds to get it through the turbo before it starts up. So I'm going to go ahead and put the intake back on, and then in a few minutes we're going to fire it up and hear the new turbo. Alright, so we are in the Aristo and we're letting it get warmed up because it's like 5 degrees outside. So we're going to take the new turbo for a test drive. I've already driven it a little bit. We're just finally getting around to filming it. So I'm going to go warm up my car till it's full operating temperature, and then we'll show you some pulls from inside the car, and hopefully you guys can hear the transmission. Hopefully you can hear the turbo over the transmission, as my input bearing is really loud right now and the turbo sounds really good. So let's get going. Alright, so I'm going to do a 4th gear pull. Here we go, we're doing 40 miles an hour.
Yep.
Alright, so we'll do one more 4th gear roll here from 40 after this car passes us. Alright, so we got to speed real quick there. And I'll do a lower gear pull just up ahead after the stop sign, and that'll probably be enough testing for now. Alright, so here's a pull from a stop sign. I'm not going to do a pull in 2nd gear, but I'm going to do one in here's 2nd gear. Ready? Alright, so we lost the guy behind us. And I think there's a small issue right now with my blow-off valve or my intercooler piping, as my blow-off valve isn't making its signature noise. So I'm going to do a bit more work to this car, but now that the turbo's on, before I smash on it anymore, I'm going to take it to my tuner. That was at 12.5 psi. I looked down at my gauge, and hopefully I'm going to get tuned to around 20 psi, so it should be significantly faster. And that'll probably be the next clip you see of this car, hopefully in about a week's time from when this gets uploaded. So thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.